Okay, this is a problem number 11. Um, and for part A, you need to state either you fail to reject or you reject the null hypothesis. We only have two options, either fail to reject or reject the null hypothesis. Now, how do we determine that? Okay, it says assume the significance level is 0.05. This is the significance level, this is alpha. Um, and you gotta compare that versus the p-value given. The p-value is given right here. Okay, and um, this part tells you how to decide. Um, if the p-value is less or equals than alpha, we reject the null hypothesis. If the p-value is greater than alpha, we fail to reject the null hypothesis. In this particular case, p-value is 0.0162, which is less than alpha, which is 0.05. Okay, in this particular case, the p-value is less than alpha. So we have this situation right here. So we reject null hypothesis here because the p-value is less than or equals than alpha. This is a pretty simple decision. Okay? Now the next part B. Um, it says assume the significance level of 0.05 and okay, we assume a significance level of 0.05 and the claim, look, this is the claim, is that more than 47% of adults would erase all their personal information online. This is a proportion problem. So since this statement is p greater than 0.47, remember we have two types of hypotheses: the null hypothesis and the alternative hypothesis. Uh, the type of parameter we are handling here in this problem is proportion. So we write p, right? It's proportion. Remember, we only have either proportion, um, mean, or standard deviation. Okay, for this particular case, is proportion. Okay, it says right here 47% is a proportion out of 100. Uh, so this, since the claim contains this mathematical symbol, this gotta be placed on the alternative hypothesis. So this is on the alternative hypothesis. Okay, and the null hypothesis, it only contains equality. So don't ever write any other symbol different than equality. And the claim is right here. The claim, look, the claim is on the alternative hypothesis. So this is the claim. Now, how do you decide how to work the conclusions? Pretty simple. We have four situations. It says original claim is on alternative hypothesis. Yes, this is the case. The claim is on alternative hypothesis. Sometimes the claim is on alternative hypothesis. Sometimes the claim is on the null hypothesis. For this particular case, it says right here, look, the claim is on the alternative hypothesis because it contains inequality. Um, and you reject the null hypothesis. Okay, on the part A, we actually we rejected the null hypothesis. Okay, so we have two elements. We rejected the null hypothesis, and the claim. Look, we reject the null hypothesis. Okay, on part A, and claim is on the alternative hypothesis. Okay, um, so is this situation right here. Okay, we have four different possibilities. Okay, and since we have this situation, this is the way you have to work it out. It says there is sufficient evidence to support the claim that, look, there is sufficient evidence to support the claim that. For the rest of the paragraph, all you gotta do is just copy this claim. More um, more than 47% of adults will erase all their personal information. So it's right here. Okay. So that's how you word the conclusion. So it's pretty simple. All you gotta do is write this word by word. There is sufficient evidence to support the claim that, and here what goes is this part, the claim. Okay. So it's a pretty simple a method. We have four different types of possibilities, and that depends whether you reject or fail to reject the null hypothesis, and if the claim is on the null hypothesis or the claim is on the alternative hypothesis.